All right, so this is the continuation of the discussion about sexual harassment in the workplace in Philippine setting. Again, this is Donalea P. Bandia, and do not forget to click subscribe. Thank you. Okay, so continuation. What procedures do you follow once arrest? All right. So this is the detailed procedures that you follow once there's an occurrence of sexual harassment in the workplace or in educational setting. First, you come out and complain. So I know it's gonna be embarrassing, especially on your part, because you need to defend, okay, yourself from having experienced this, which actually do not wish for, okay. But nothing will happen if you will just stay quiet and you will just tolerate and bear with how the offender will treat you. All right, so you come out and complain. So next is you report or escalate the act of sexual harassment to your immediate supervisor, unless the offender is your immediate supervisor. So in that case, okay, you have to look at the organizational structure, okay, regarding with the hierarchy. Who is the person on top, okay, on the organizational structure, who is on top of that immediate superior. So you report or you file your complaint, okay, to that person who is the person above, all right, in the organizational structure of your immediate superior. Okay, now this immediate supervisor conducts his own investigation to confirm the facts and details of your allegation and to coordinate with the alleged offender's boss first. So he need to conduct his own investigation, all right, to prove if there is really sexual harassment that occur. Okay, so once it has been confirmed, the alleged offender's boss consults and coordinates with the human resource. Okay, so the HR follows the discipline management process, part of which is its own investigation procedures. So there is a committee that will conduct another investigation together with the HR, okay, to prove the occurrence of the case. Okay, so after that, a closure memo is served if the alleged offender is not found guilty or the prescribed sanctions are enforced if otherwise, right? Okay, so your employer or head's duties or involvement. Okay, so there are two kind of approaches. We have proactive approach and then we have the reactive approach. In proactive approach, so this is a kind of approach wherein there is prevention to avoid the commission of acts of sexual harassment. Okay, in reactive approach, this is more on the resolution on how to resolve, okay, or settle the acts of sexual harassment in the workplace. Okay, later I'm going to give you a specification of the inclusion on how to conduct or how to implement reactive approach and proactive approaches. Okay, so in order to attain such ends, your employer or head shall promulgate rules, okay, and regulations which are actually approved by the employees or students or trainees, and there are duly designated representatives for this. Okay, so these appropriate rules and regulations may include but not limited to, okay, so there must be guidelines on proper decorum in the workplace, or there must be professional treatment, okay, or nature or aura in the workplace. Okay, employee code of conduct must be in the inclusion of the orientation for newly hired employees so that they will have an idea, okay, on how regarding this sexual harassment thing or topic. Okay, so other related internal or client provided policies are just supplementals. Okay, so number two, prescribe the procedure for the investigation of sexual harassment cases and the administrative sanctions therefor. Okay, so discipline management process and grievance procedures must also be well known to all the employees so they have an idea on what they are going to do, especially if there is a commission of sexual harassment against them. Okay. And then we must have a CODI, or Committee on Decorum and Investigation. So they are responsible, okay, for conducting meetings with officers, employees, okay, teachers, trainers, students, etc. So there is an increased awareness and understanding and prevention of incidents of sexual harassment. Okay, they are also responsible in conducting the investigation of alleged case constituting sexual harassment. Okay, and then be solidarily liable for damages arising from the acts of sexual harassment committed in the employment, education, or training environment. Later, I am going to give you a specification about this liable damages, okay, with regard to sexual harassment. Okay, yeah, this one, financial damage. Okay, later I'm gonna mention to you specific amount of the monetary settlement for financial damages. If there is an existing, or if there is, for example, an emotional or mental psychological damages that has been done, if it's been really traumatic for the victim, then there must be a counseling that must be provided for them. Okay, in educational setting, there are licensed guidance counselors who can conduct this. Okay, if there is no such department inside the company, okay, they can refer it to an agency offering professional help or any other advice or option available. Let's say, for example, they can refer it to a psychiatrist. Sorry, they can refer him to a psychologist, a psychotherapist, okay, to give support or emotional support for the victim. Okay, can the victim pursue independent actions for damages? Okay, the answer is yes. Nothing in this act shall preclude, rule out in advance, the victim of work, education, or training related sexual harassment for instituting a separate and independent action for damages and other affirmative relief. Okay. So, what are the penalties for the violation of this act's provision? All right. So, as per the law, there will be a fine of 10,000 to 20,000 or imprisonment of 1 to 6 months or both at the discretion of the court based on the degree of gravity of the offense. So it could be identified as a grave offense, less grave offense, or light offense. All right. So, with regard to the generic sanctions or disciplinary actions in certain companies, okay, for grave offenses, it is already dismissal. So, you're going to be terminated from the job, okay, after following all the procedures. And then, if there is already a proof, okay, and a decision coming from the company, okay, from the committee, from the HR. Okay, so for grave offenses, it's gonna be dismissal. For less grave offenses, the first offense is a fine or suspension for 30 days, but not exceeding the 6 months. Okay. For the second offense, it's already dismissal. You have already repeated what you have done, so it's gonna be dismissal or termination. For light offenses, first offense is reprimand. Okay, it could be a written reprimand. For the second offense, it's gonna be a fine or suspension not exceeding 30 days. And for the third offense, it'll be dismissal. Okay. So the best thing to do when done an act of sexual harassment, okay, first, reject the advance being made firmly, but politely, but loud and conspicuous enough for potential witnesses to hear and see it. Okay, so make sure that it's gonna be loud enough. Okay, you're gonna be firm enough and tough enough. Okay, and just let the person know that you do not want, okay, that kind of treatment from him and you do not deserve it. Okay. Number two, take note of the event by recording the date, exact time, and specific location in the workplace where it happened. So you will be able to document it. Okay. If there are CCTV recordings, much better. Okay. If it is in form of text message or let's say personal message in the chat box, take a screenshot. Okay. If there are some witnesses, make sure to have a recording of how they witness it. So you're gonna have a pack of evidence to support what you are trying to tell or claim in the future to your immediate superior or to the HR. Okay. And what else? So if there's no witness, if there is no documentation, or I mean any pictures or something, you write it down in details what happened. Okay, from the very start up to what the last part that has happened. Okay, and then tell your closest confidant in the workplace first. So at least there is someone who know it. All right. So make sure that this person is trustworthy. Okay. Report it to your immediate supervisor unless he or she is the offender. Yeah, I have discussed this a while ago. And go to your HR person in your immediate supervisor's absence, or if he is in the person in question. Okay? So this is how you do. Just in case that it will happen, but I am really hopeful that it will not happen to you guys. Okay, so a victim remains as such only until she lets justice be served, but becomes an eternal fool if she denies it herself of it. Okay, you should always remember this. Okay, so that's all. Thank you very much, and have a nice day, everyone. If you have any questions, please let me know with my email, psicologista.files@gmail.com. Thank you.